All right, what's our time?
How much time we at? Oh no, I ain't see that. It's on the thing.
What do you need?
How much time we been talking?
How long we been talking?
46 minutes.
46?
I've been recording for 56.
Tell me about the name.
Yo, you gotta relax.
Come on, tell me about the name.
So,
you picked the name.
Nice so propped up there.
Well, tell me.
Yes, sir.
I want to know the name.
Fuck you money. So it was this joke I had, right? I was on Twitter and I was like, damn, niggas need fuck you money. And so I it's probably like 2 years ago, I purchased a website called fuckyoumoney4.me, right? And I was like, I'm gonna make this a whole class. It's gonna be a class. It's gonna be for like 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And motherfuckers gonna come and learn how to get some fuck you money. So basically it was gonna be nothing but my Twitter rants, but more in a literary perspective.
Right.
So I was gonna like start this website. So I didn't have no idea for what the website was gonna be, nor did I know how to design a website. So I paid like the graphic guy that I fuck with, and I said, yo, I just need you to get some of that with the middle finger. So that was the website. You click on the website and it was like this bird, and it was like, get some of that. And it was just like that for like a running joke until like the shit expired. So the fuck you money came from just like this thought process that I don't think anybody should be doing anything that doesn't serve them. And a lot of times people are slaves to like the shiny prisons that they build. So in the essence of it, I'm like, yo, the fuck you money shit is really, truly freedom, you know, for most of people of color. Like I don't really think about like white people in the same way just because of how the country was built. So that's really where fuck you money came from in my mind. Then when you brought the show up, and I was like, oh shit, we could just call it, that's the name of the show.
When you told me about the name, I thought it was a joke until we was in the text. And you was like, yo, can we name it Fuck You Money? No asterisks, no nothing, just straight fuck you. He was like, what do you say? He was like, I think that'd be okay.
You think that'd be okay?
I think that'd be okay. So now we here with Fuck You Money, the radio show.
Yeah, I guess it's a radio show.
Yeah, it's a radio show now. It's not a tweet rant.
Oh yeah, no.
It's not a Twitter rant anymore. But do you feel different now today having the show versus having the website?
I guess you're always gonna feel different because you are progressing on something that is, I guess you would say, raunchy from a sense of like, ugh, like why you say it like that, right? But the thought process of like, you know, attention that is caused by like being very abrasive, right? Mm-hmm. And so I like the concept that it's tied into multiple things. I like the concept that fuck you money is tied into like a lifestyle way of how you can think. If you truly understand it, I like the way that it's tied into the book. Mm-hmm. I like the way that it's tied into like creating a show that's going to be like a very unique live audio show. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that it makes people start questioning how they manage their overhead to be able to maneuver themselves to have that fuck you money. And it's nothing but like a cushion, you know what I'm saying? For you to be able to say, I want to pursue this. Mm-hmm. And I've saved up 6 months of like my, you know, overhead to quit my job and not do anything but pursue what I'm loving for 6 months. Mm-hmm. And that's a form of like fuck you money, you know what I'm saying? Where you can actually, you know, not disrespectfully tell your boss fuck you and leave, but like that behavior and that attitude and the bravery that you need to have in order to try to achieve something that's new. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's relevant in music, right? Yeah. When you are working as an artist, making some noise, someone brings you a contract with some money on it, right?
Yeah.
The terms can be terrible, but you need this bread. You got some fuck you money, you can tell them what to put the contract at. Take your money and keep running it up. But most people, from like an artist standpoint, are rarely in a position to say fuck you.
Yeah. You're always in a position to say fuck you, in my mind.
Yeah. Always.
Now, yeah, once you get to become an adult, you may, you saying fuck you may come with repercussion consequences that you got to struggle with, right?
Facts.
But I think if you had a mentality that you're always in a position, because like I remember running into a partner that was an A&R. And there was an A&R at this record label, and they was kicking it with my homie, and they had got a new job. It was something they was very excited about. And they had started working there. They had been working there for like 2-3 years, and then they wasn't that really happy. But in them not being happy, they still was getting like raises, right? Every time they got a raise, I don't know their finances, but I'm pretty sure the lifestyle increased. Every raise, lifestyle increased. That is our curse as Black people. Like, we get a raise, we're going to go buy some new shit.
Right.
We're not thinking about the dream that we had before we got this job. We think about that when that raise comes. We just think about, ooh, got a raise.
I want a new car. I want a new
whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And that person was very unhappy with where they was at because the thing that they actually loved about the job that they got hired for ended up dissolving over time. And they felt like, I always call it a shiny prison. Okay. So now, you're in this nice shiny prison like being in the feds. The story I hear about the feds, you got a refrigerator, you know what I'm saying? Like, you a big time drug that gets banged up. Like, the feds is nice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what people do and people end up having these dynamics of like this shiny ass job, nice job, but they really unhappy because they haven't set themselves up to be in a position to have that level of like freedom.
And it's shiny because they don't want to leave.
Yeah, 1,000%. You can always downgrade. You know what I'm saying? You can always downgrade, but like downgrade looks like you're losing.
Yeah. Yeah, you in a dirty prison.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in a dirty prison.
Yeah.
But you're probably closer to escaping if it's not shiny.
1,000%.
So I feel you. Well, I guess that's my question is, do you remember the last time you felt like you was in a shiny prison?
Nah, I know. I never had a real job. Like, I had a bunch of part-time jobs. And everybody know part-time jobs, they don't really feel real.
Nah, right?
Yeah, like, I had, like, jobs with places that had high turnaround rate. And then when I worked at Delta, like, that's the freest I felt working at any job because the job allowed me to travel. And I didn't have to travel for work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a clause in your fucking, like, terms and agreements with Delta that you couldn't travel for business on your benefits.
My best friend just got hired at Delta. So he's experiencing what you experienced.
Yeah.
As far as the freedom within a job.
Yeah.
You got enough hours where you can travel when you're not working.
1,000%.
And that's the thing about Delta. You don't got to work all the time. They let you kind of set your hours.
1,000%.
So what you do on your off time is what you do on your off time. You just can't travel for business.
No, I always travel for business.
Well, don't tell them that.
I always travel for business.
Well, you remember your first business trip?
My first business trip. So when I first got hired at Delta, I went through orientation, right? So the fucking orientation, everybody passed like it wasn't a background check. No, it was a background check. So everybody passed the background check except for me. I was in the system I got fired before.
From Delta?
From Delta. So the reason that I was in the system because I got fired before is because in 2007, right before I signed my contract to go play pro ball for like this arena league, I got a job at Delta.
For real?
Yes.
Okay.
But I didn't take it. Like, I went to orientate. I went to like the interview that you got to do everything, and that's what they hire you on.
They hired you.
So they hired me, but I never went to the job. I called them and told them that, yo, I'm not gonna be able to accept the job.
Okay.
But so I got terminated.
In the system.
So, 4 years later, I come back, I got the job. I'm at I done went through orientation, through training, and then when it was time for people to get their clearance, they called it the CIDA badges. I couldn't get no clearance.
So hold on, stop. You got hired at the same job twice.
Yeah.
And because the first time you didn't even work, it got flagged.
Yeah, I got terminated. But they I don't know how they put it in the system. But I never worked.
Well, why'd you reapply for Delta?
Cause I fly free.
Okay. All right.
That's all the goal was just to fly free.
All right.
So they tell you everything Delta tell you not to do, I did it. Right? They tell you when you're traveling, don't travel on days that you gotta work. Or whatever. Or they'll say like you gotta wait a certain amount of time before you activate your benefits or whatever.
Right.
So I had a whole week off because they had to get the system shit corrected for me to actually work. So I flew to Toronto. That was summer of 2000. My first flight was to Toronto, summer 2011.
Before you got started working, you already flying.
Yeah, I hadn't worked a day except for like the training, like the little training stuff they do.
That's funny.
But yeah.
Why Toronto?
I love Toronto.
Yeah.
Toronto, at the time, I was working with this producer, and then my partner Addy, who managed a producer named Rich Kid. It was working with Milo Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just going there to fuck with them, learn more about Toronto. You know what I mean?
So I guess if people are listening to this and they don't know you, while you're working at Delta, you're helping talent, managing artists locally in Atlanta. What was that like in that time frame? What was the music scene like for you? What did you see?
Man, during that time, Atlanta was starting to have like that was doing like around the Fadi was doing Broken Bougie, A3C really was starting to grow. It was really like the first time Atlanta had ever seen like an independent, like a indie, like backpack, like eclectic, alternative scene. You know what I'm saying? Like from here, but yeah, like 2-9.
Yeah, no, it was a whole pocket.
You know what I'm saying? EarthGang was there.
It was popping up.
There's a lot of those different things. So like during that time frame, and then A3C brought all of the independent rappers or the local, regional, A3C brought those individuals to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So like during 2011, 2012, that's really when you like the Trinidad James shit, like all of those really like, I don't want to say that it's not serious art, you know what I'm saying? But it was like more like floaty. Everybody's like just doing what they wanted to do in the studio. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Almost very experimental, to be honest.
Makonnen, you had all the producers were popping up, like Digital, Metro Boomin.
Bro, when I first seen Makonnen, the first time I seen Makonnen, he had this song, bro. It's called Very Freaky Girl. And he used to have that fucking mannequin. He would travel around with that fucking mannequin and he would make all these YouTube videos, right? So the same kid that put me on the Forte Boy, same kid that put me on to like Big Sean, that put me on to Odd Future, put me on the Isaiah Rashad.
Okay.
He put me on to it was another white boy that rapped out of Detroit too. Now it wasn't Eminem. He rapped and sang, like, and he produced everything too. He had a ill tape with Don Cannon back in like 2010.
From Detroit?
Yep.
I had to look it up. Law?
Nah, bro, nah. So so his name was King. So King told me about all these different artists, right? And he called me one day. He was like, bro, you gotta look at this shit. This shit gonna be so big, I'm telling you. I'm like, what? And it was fucking Makonnen, bro. Fucking Makonnen. And he had the fucking, it was a song, bro. His songwriting was so dope. I was like, bro, if Bruno Mars was singing these songs, these shits would be out of here. And so, yeah, it was like doing that scene. Fucking Makonnen.
Were you surprised when Going Up on a Tuesday went up? Like, obviously, Drake comes in, remixes this song.
No.
The Mannequin Man.
Because Mike Will saw that shit. Because Mike Will signed him to a pub deal.
Okay.
So Mike Will saw bruh early, and just like, one thing about being from Atlanta, like, if you from Atlanta, you out in the scene, and being from Atlanta means that if you grew up in North Atlanta, niggas gonna treat you like you from Atlanta. If you grew up in College Park, or you grew up
South
in
Atlanta.
South Atlanta, in Swats or East Point, niggas are gonna treat you like you from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the Makonnen and like Mike Will and Metro, them, that crew of producers fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? Really like thrived at. You know what I mean?
They popped him up.
Atlanta has always been uplifted by the producers. From
Come on now.
Organized Noise, JD producing and writing, to fucking Dallas Austin, to all of the shit what Toont was doing. Fucking what's my man with all the shit we're doing, all the Gucci shit early. Zaytoven. Shawty Red, like can't forget about Tricky.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Tricky,
Atlanta has always been uplifted by the producers. You know what I'm saying?
Very
so like
much so.
the producers really uplifted Makonnen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Early before anyone was involved.
Cause the nigga really could write good songs.
Yeah.
The shit was just weird. Like, him singing.
If someone else would have sung it, he would have been Neo. Like, obviously, talented songwriter.
He wouldn't have been Neo.
You don't think so?
Neo had hits as an individual.
No. I feel like Makonnen still has a chance to have hits.
Yeah.
I just think he had that pen.
Yeah.
Talent of a pen is one thing I think is underrated in music.
Yeah.
Like the writers.
I think women want to look at Neo before they want to look at Makonnen.
Yo, he lost that weight though.
Hey, man. Shout out to Makonnen. I ain't got no slander from Makonnen.
No, he's fired.
He had he did the Wintertime Through It All remix.
Oh, for real? I need to hear that.
Yeah. He was the first one that did the Wintertime Through It All remix before Erykah Badu did.
Okay, hold on. Before we get into Wintertime, you're from Forest Park.
Yeah.
Well, you're from Austell, Georgia, right?
No. I grew up in Forest Park.
But where you born?
I was born in South Georgia.
South Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was born in South Georgia in a city called Americus, Georgia. So it's like Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 2.5 hours outside of Atlanta.
Got you.
Yeah, so during the summers, I would travel back and forth because half my family lived in Atlanta and then half my family stayed in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there was obvious other reasons on why everybody was always traveling back and forth to Atlanta. But when we was in 6th grade, my mom, I think she was in the process of getting a divorce from my brother's dad. Then we just abruptly moved to Atlanta. And when we got here, I'm in 6th grade, we moved to Forest Park. Because that's where my aunts was staying. So that's pretty much where I grew up at.
Which part of Forest Park?
Schaumburg Road, like it's right on the cusp. So I was about, you know how when they zone everything out? So if this was the line, you have South Atlanta High School, and then you have Forest Park High School.
Yeah.
And I stayed right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I stayed right here on that line.
So you went to Forest Park High?
So I went to Forest Park High. I went to Forest Park Middle and Forest Park High.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Yeah, I ain't go nowhere else.
Was it a culture shock?
Bro, it was culture shock because when I first moved to Atlanta, I'm country as shit, by the way.
Okay.
So one of the ladies, she was like, where you from? Because I was a new student. Like, where you from? And I was like, Americas. But I was so country, she thought I was saying America, like the country. And she thought I was going to be a smart ass. She thought I was being a smart ass. So she was writing me up until it was a young lady named Kimberly. I was like, no, miss, I can't remember the lady's name. She was like, no, it's a real city. Like my family's from there too.
Right.
So yeah, it was like one of those things where like being country didn't pay off. It was definitely a shock.
Yeah. And people always say people from Atlanta country, that they can't understand us.
Yeah.
But the further south you go,
it goes deep.
It gets way more country.
Yeah. They used to say bike instead of back. They used to say bike. That what the fuck you talking about?
That's too country for me.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you go back at all?
I ain't back in a minute.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think it's any different?
Oh, it's probably a little different. It's probably a little different, but I ain't back in a minute. My mom and my brother always go back. My mom love it down there. That shit ain't got no reception, bro.
How different is Atlanta, though, from when you first moved?
Yeah, realize I'm 37. I experienced Freaknik.
Yo, hold on, stop. I don't think I ever met anyone that can say those words.
Yeah, I experienced Freaknik.
Yeah.
I experienced Freaknik twice.
Oh, yes.
The first time I experienced it, it was 96. But I was driving.
The Olympic year.
Yeah, I was with my aunt, and they was driving through downtown, and it was the traffic. That's what I experienced. But when you're in the traffic in Freaknik, you seeing titties, you seeing that shit.
Mardi Gras.
That shit was out of control. So I'm in the back seat trying to get, like my aunt and them trying to get home. And then the second year, the 97, which was like really the last year before they started shutting shit down, was that was like nuts. I like in 7th grade, 8th grade. And we're talking about, at the time, my cousin Tracy and my cousin Marvin wasn't really my cousin, but my cousin Mike and Marvin was like this.
Mm-hmm.
And Marvin's sister dated this drug dealer named Money. So Money, all them stayed on Jonesboro South, right? And so Money had like 4 don'ts, like Caprice classes. Like one was all gold, triple gold D's. One was all red, triple gold D's. One was all black, triple gold D's, right? And my cousin had the Regal with trues and bows, white walls, right? Bowling ball blue. This is when paint was bowling ball.
Yeah.
It wasn't like candy. It was like bowling ball, right? So, mind you, I never had a curfew. Like I'm like in 7th grade with my cousin in the back seat. And so, I understand why they got rid of Freaknik, bro. like, I understand why they got rid of Freaknik. Like literally, I had such a wild life. We was at a gas station on Cleveland because Cleveland was still, it wasn't metropolitan until it was Stewart Ave.
Okay.
And they were selling pussy on Stewart Ave for a very long time. That was the rebrand of them trying to change metropolitan. So like, getting rid of Stewart Ave, getting rid of Freaknik, getting rid of Bankhead. Like,
it was cleaning up
They was trying to clean that shit up. Getting rid of all the projects and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So now you're talking about we on Cleveland Ave, and I don't know how vivid you can imagine the Cleveland Ave, but when you're going down 75.
I know Cleveland.
And you bust that right. When you get up, going 75 north, you bust that right.
Mm.
And when you bust that right, you ride up towards Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
But before you get to Stewart, there's 2 gas stations. As soon as you bust that right, it's a gas station right there, and it's like a gas station, but it's in like a
Is it a Shell?
It's a Shell, but it's in like a little there's other stores over there too.
Pavilion. It's like a pavilion.
Yeah, that's what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we at the gas station across the street at Freaknik 97, getting gas. I'm in the back seat, and I look across the street, and there's this prostitute. And niggas just stripping her clothes off. And I guess the pimp came out, he just started letting off shots in the air. And my cousin is pumping gas. Nobody's seeing this. I'm watching it as like a 7th grader across the street. Because they know that, oh shit, they're shooting. He fucking throw the gas and we fucking pull off and like, don't know where you leaving from, what you driving to, none of that type of shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so, that part of Atlanta, like, is like nostalgic. Just like Kilo Ali, we talking about like little big records, Sammy Sam the Hitman, like drum, like all type of shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
In that era. So that's wild.
I feel you. So you 37, I'm 30. I grew up Morrow, Georgia.
Yep.
Southside.
Mm-hmm.
My parents own a skating rink.
Yep.
So my parents have owned the rink since I was 12.
Mm-hmm. So
I watched how kids growing up in Atlanta is. I didn't get a chance to see the pimps stripping off prostitutes, but I seen Nuck If You Buck drop and niggas drop at the same time.
Oh, let's do it.
Come on now. That's the Atlanta I know. Those people grew up. Now they kids is like that because they still come to the ring and the energy is the same. And I feel like Atlanta has an energy that's like the TV show, right? It's a little eclectic, right? It gets a little funny. What's the most Atlanta thing you've ever seen?
Oh, shit. The most Atlanta thing I ever seen, I seen a nigga get like jacked, like they, you know how you see people when they cars be on bricks? I've literally watched a guy walk in the store and come back out and his shit is on bricks. As a kid, I saw that. Like, they work fast.
So I seen it happen to my cousin. I didn't see it, but my cousin used to live in Stone Mountain, all right? We used to go to my Aunt Jackie's house on the weekend. I got a cousin, Rodney. Rodney's older than me, right? Had the BBSs on his whip. Proud of him, right? Telling us about the rims. We wake up the next day, rims gone. Bricks, just on bricks. And I remember he was distraught because he went to sleep just happy as can be. And you wake up, you can't even drive to get new tires.
No, you can't do nothing.
You can't do anything.
Another Atlanta run and shoot, right? So run and shoot was off Stewart. Everybody's run and shoot like a huge like gymnasium.
Hold on,
like
let's stop.
20 goals.
Run and shoot was crazy.
Run and shoot was crazy.
Because they just had basketball goals up and down. It was like a mega gym. And everyone's playing at the same time.
My cousin, Regal, got stolen. He had the wood grain steering wheel. He just popped the steering wheel off and take the steering wheel with him into run and shoot. And he had the steering collar lock on there. And I think he had an alarm system too.
That's crazy.
Nigga broke in, popped the steering collar, hot-wired it, and drove that bitch off with a screwdriver. That's how they stole the motherfucker, drove with a screwdriver.
He did all that and it still got stolen.
Yeah. Them niggas, like, motherfucker wants your car they want. Yeah, they want the car. The only, like, my car never got stolen because I had a Cutlass. So I was driving at 15. So I had a car at.
Who gave you the car?
My grandfather. Yeah. So I was driving at 15, right? So I had a Cutlass. I had a all blue Cutlass on like rims and shit. So my mom was dating this guy named Jim. And Jim was a mechanic. Jim said, I'm gonna show you how you not get your car stolen. So I was like, what, you gonna put like a kill switch on it? He like, fuck all that shit. They can get rid of all of that. He said, all you need to do is go under your hood and unplug one of your spark plugs. And he knew what? Never get your car stolen. And he said, what's gonna happen is, it's just gonna be like, it won't turn over, like almost like you know how like old cars, like it take a while before it crank up. He said, you're gonna keep doing that.
Like the battery dead.
No. It ain't like a battery dead. It's like literally like it turns like, but it just won't turn over.
Yeah.
It just won't turn over. And he said, by the time they do all that shit, they're gonna get panicky and be like, fuck, I just gotta get out. And they're not gonna even think that there's some type of mechanism why they can't do that. They're just gonna think that this old ass car don't work. And my shit never got stolen when it was with me. And it's definitely been broken into several times. But I would unplug that damn spark plug. I never had an alarm system on that bitch or nothing.
That's genius.
Yeah, that is pretty genius.
That's I'm sorry. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you 15 with a car.
Yeah.
What was that like? Like,
Bro,
you didn't have a license, right? You didn't have a license.
I had a learner license.
You had to learn, right?
Yo, true facts. My mom took me to get my learner license. Because you can't get a learner license at 15. You get it at 16.
No, you can't
So I
get
had
it
the
at
car
15.
at 15.
For a reason,
Right,
you can't
so-
have it at 15.
So I go in, I get the learner license at 16. I take the test, pass the test. My mother drives me to my aunt's house, my Aunt Rita, drops me off. I jumped in my car and drove off. With no supervision. It was nobody in the motherfucking car. Because at 18, you get your learner's license, but you gotta have somebody that's 18 or older in the car with you.
Your mom must be cool.
My mom is cool. She funny as hell. We laughing today. My mom is out of control.
What you talking about?
Me and my mom had a better relationship now. But back then, I don't know, it was weird because, like, I never understood. I was sitting there, I'm like, why the fuck would she just let me just get in the car and just drive off? Like,
That's what I want to know.
yeah, like, I don't understand.
Does she remember that?
We haven't even really talked about it.
I bet you won't call her.
No.
I bet you won't call her.
No, of course. What you got? I'm gonna see what you gonna remember.
That's what I want to know. Because you a cool mom if you let your kid just jump in a Cutlass at 15. I just want you to know, Ty, you remind me if a T.I. song came to life. That's what talking to you is like. You like Rubber Band Man as a person.
Oh, shit. That is fucking hilarious. Yeah, I got a funny-ass T.I. story, too. This one's going to be funny.
I gotta get that.
I got to see. The service here is terrible.
Hello?
Mama.
Hi.
So, I got a question for you, see if you remember this. You remember when you took me to get my learner license, right?
Uh-huh.
And you remember when you dropped me off at when I got my learner license?
What time then first part?
No, I'm talking about after I got the learner license. Do you remember when you took me after I got my learner license?
If I took you at home, I think.
No, you remember my car used to be parked over at Rita House. And when I got my license, you had took me over there to get my car.
Uh-huh.
And I was doing this interview with Yo, and he was like, "Why?" He said, "Why would your mom take you to get your car at 16? And you needed somebody, you know, you get your learner's permit, you need somebody 18 in the car with you." And I was like, "I don't know." He said, "I bet you won't call her and ask her."
You had your license at 16, because at that time, you didn't have to. I'm trying to say that you had to wait a year.
No, I think when you had to wait a year before you can get your full license, but you had to have somebody over 18 in the car. But I don't think nobody was doing that.
No, not.
I don't remember. No, you should. Well, you know how strict I was. You know I was gonna take you, to get the car. No, they probably was 16.
Okay, I was just double checking.
Yeah, he probably was 16. Yeah. I don't think you. No, because you didn't have that. You didn't have that car then.
It was always at Auntie Rita's house. Remember the whole time?
No. It wasn't always at Rita's house. It was at the house over there where we were staying in.
We was on staying at one house. Cause you remember we stayed at Aunt Rita, then we moved to the apartment down the street.
Yeah. No, when you was at college. So you was at college.
No. You don't fast forward so fast. when we first, I had the car way before we moved over there with Ho. I think that was his name. What was his name? The landlord? Ho?
Yeah. No. Let me see.
Cause Granddaddy drove it up and parked it at Aunt Rita's house.
You right.
That's where it was sitting there. It wasn't over there until you talking about when I went to college, and that's where it was being that with before I think Punk had it or something like that.
No. You had your license. Yeah, cause we had over there that thing over there. We stayed in that apartment over there.
I think Waldo Creek was it Waldo Creek? I can't remember.
No, it wasn't of them. It was them. It was those apartments in Jonesboro. It used to be Hunters Bay.
Oh yeah, over there off of Old Dixie. Yeah. Cause I know in 10th grade, you know, we didn't get to Hunters Bay. I don't know. I think it was in Hunters Bay when I was a junior. I can't remember the actual time frame was in Hunters Bay, but I know what you're talking about because it used to be parked over there. Because that's when Jim taught me how to change the alternator and all that stuff on there.
Yeah. Then we moved over there. But you were 16 though. You had your license.
Yeah, I got my learner license at 16 and I got my real license at 17 because you have to wait a year after your learner license.
You were saying you got 15. You got a learner license at 15.
You got your learners at 15.
Oh.
That's what you were saying. But he was saying he was driving at 15.
You had your license.
I didn't have my license at 15 because I was working at Crystal's at 15 And I wasn't supposed to be able to work. I wasn't supposed to work at Crystal, so I didn't get my learner. Because you got to get your learner license first. You got to take the test.
Yeah.
And then you get the after a year they let you drive. So you take the paper test
Right.
to get your license.
You
Then
gotta
you gotta go actually do the drive. By the time I went and did the driving test,
You
I had
already
been driving.
by yourself.
Yes.
Well, you must be driving without me knowing it.
Yeah, definitely driving by myself by the time, like 1,000%.
You were 16 because I know how far sports were. You got your license at 16, and you had your learners at 15, so you had to wait that year. And then when Dad gave you the car, Dad gave you the car when you got your license.
Yeah, the car was already there, so the car was already mine. The car sat. You remember that car sat over there for a while because the transmission wasn't even all the way working. So the car had been sitting for a while. So I've been had the car. It wasn't like I had my license and then the car. It was just like the actual me being able to use the car.
Let me tell you who took that car over Rita's. Who took that car over Rita's? Because when you was in college, and it was parked in the yard over there at that house, and I remember them boys. They came and they asked me, how much I want for it. I told them it's not for sale. And them jokers came back and knocked the back window out and the side window. And they tried to start it, but it wouldn't open. But it wouldn't start, but you had took something out of it.
Yeah.
And then I called Pooh to come and get it. And then, he fixed it up, and not fixed it up, but he fixed that flow and everything else. And he fixed it where it'll work, it'll run. And he fixed that glass back, and then somebody stole it. Somebody stole it from him, so Moore had to send him all the papers. And put it in his,
phone because she's gonna be talking
forever.
forever.
To get it out of town.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but you had then after a while, he went over there and parked it over. I think he parked it over Rita's.
Yeah, I don't know.
He went and parked it over Rita's. And shit, I forgot after that. After Rita lost the house, then you went over there and got it.
Yeah.
You went over there and got it. But you had when you got that car, you had your license. Cause Dad wasn't gonna give you that car unless you had your license. Yeah, he wasn't gonna give it to you. Yeah, you had you had your license.
All right.
Before you started driving. You know me, I wasn't gonna let you drive with just learners by yourself. Because I know how Forest Park is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we lived in Forest Park then, yeah.
All right, I was just double checking if you had remembered it. I'm gonna call you back.
I remember that part. I remember you ain't driving till you got legit.
Yeah. You used to work 24 hours a day, right? Well, 12-hour shifts.
Oh?
You remember you used to work them 12-hour shifts?
At where?
At Toto. 6 to 6.
Now, will you move a driver then?
All right, I'm gonna call you back.
Okay then.
All right. It's hilarious. But yeah,
I like how she took the longest way to agree with us.
But think about it.
But to her point, she stamped everything you said from Forest Park.
She hilarious because I said, I remember my first job was 15 at Crystal's.
Right.
But the lady, she liked me so much, I wasn't supposed to work at 15 because you couldn't get a worker's permit unless you
Right.
was 16.
Right.
So she changed my age in the system, said that I was 16 and I was able to like work the job. But I couldn't, my cousin still was taking me to work and picking me up.
Right.
So that was 15. That's why I said I know I didn't have no learner's permit
Right.
or anything into that aspect of it. Then at 16, that's when you're in 10th grade.
Nah, 15 is 10th grade, I think.
Well, when I was a senior, I turned 18.
Got you.
I turned 18 in March.
Okay, your birthday. What's your birthday?
March 26th.
26. Okay.
So when I was a sophomore, when I was a junior, I turned 17.
Right.
Then when I was
Got 8.
a sophomore,
Yeah.
a sophomore, I turned 16.
Right.
Right. So the beginning of my sophomore year, I was 15, and then I turned 16 that same year.
Right. That's when you started driving.
Yeah.
Got the car.
And so, but the reason that I didn't drive a lot, I used to drive to school and I used to drive wherever I needed to go, because my car didn't go in reverse. Because just because I'm driving, my grandfather gave me the car as is. The motherfucker didn't go in reverse. So me and my partner Devin, we used to purposely make sure we drove into open parking spot that you can just drive out of. Because if we fucked around and got caught, we had to push the car to be able to get it. You know, we like 15, we 16-year-old
So
kids.
you can't move the car backwards at all.
No. So when I used to drive, when we used to park at my aunt's house, that's why we parked at my aunt's house. Because she had a big ass backyard.
You could
just drive around and then park it and then
do your thing.
leave straight out.
You lived a funny life.
Yeah, it was hilarious. My mom used to work so much.
Yeah.
My mom used to work so much that all my friends used to call her a truck driver.
She wasn't a truck driver.
No, she wasn't a truck driver. She just worked 12-hour shifts.
That's crazy.
So she worked 12-hour shifts. She worked 6 to 6, then 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Then it was shift over. In 30 days, she'd be working 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Jesus.
And it was 6-hour shifts. Then sometimes she had picked up a job at like the post office.
Right.
So like, my mom was too tired to be trying to goddamn monitor. Long as nigga wasn't in prison.
Because your mom didn't have no fuck you money though.
No. My mom was super strict on making sure that fucking house was clean.
Mm-hmm.
And like making sure, you know what I'm saying? Like she was super strict in that way, but like I ain't had no curfew. Like I was out, like I was at Freaknik, bro.
Yeah.
Just because I was with my cousins, though, like I still was out at
Also,
wild time.
This is a time before cell phones. She can't really call you and be like, where you at, Ty?
Nah,
She can't text you where you at, Ty.
You just page my cousin. Because, so there used to be a club called 559 in Atlanta, right? In the West End. Small ass club. In my 9th grade year, my cousin had graduated.
Mm-hmm.
I knew all the older kids in like junior, senior because of my cousin, right?
Right.
So every Friday after the football game, my cousin used to come get me after the games and we used to go to West End. We used to ride around West End. This is my 9th grade year. So that's 99, 2000. Yeah. So this is 99.
Mm-hmm.
So in 99, this is when I first seen Cash Money. Cash Money tour bus at 559. But 559 was so small that everybody would just peel the block.
For real.
All night. And in 99, Buckhead was the after party.
Yeah.
Buckhead used to have club next to club. In 99. Buckhead would be up to 6 o'clock in the morning. So every Friday after the football game, we would drive to 559, West End, peel the block for like an hour or two.
Right.
Just being niggas. And then after that, everybody would go to Buckhead.
Mm-hmm.
Buckhead was the after party. Nah, but that ain't what Buckhead is now.
No. I mean, they still got a strip of bars, but it's not the same. That's not what you saw.
So Atlanta has changed a lot. For the good.
I see that. Do you feel that you would ever live anywhere else?
Temporarily, yeah.
But like move your life, pick up everything, and not go back home to Atlanta?
Well, I can multitask, but I ain't never gonna go back to the city.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I mean, is there something that keeps you coming back to Atlanta?
Home field advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like when you from a place where it's starting to have like peaks in multiple industries, multiple places, politician relationships. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a no-brainer. Real estate's way cheaper. What you get for your money, you know, what you're able to, seeing all the black people be successful.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of different things that like, there's a lot of fuck you money in Atlanta. Some of it legal, some of it illegal. But there's a lot of fuck you money going around in Atlanta.
And it's going around.
It's going around. Some of the niggas don't go to prison for it, but it's still there. You can always transition and figure it out. And I think a lot of people have done a great job.
Yeah, you can find some fuck you money in Atlanta for sure.
100%.
For sure. For people who are listening to this that's not from Atlanta, or they're from a city where there's not a lot of fuck you money, what are the things they should be looking for in their cities to take advantage?
I think every city has like a void they can fill, right? I remember when me and PK was in LA. Man, I gotta say this shit had to be like 2010, 2011. There was no fucking food trucks in Atlanta in 2010, 2011.
Yeah, I can't recall food trucks.
No food trucks. And I remember us being at Universal, taking some meetings, and me and PK had walked to this food truck line. They used to have like these food trucks lined up so people can eat. And bro, we need, but I ain't got no food trucks in Atlanta. You take food trucks to Atlanta. I said, she right, bro. I ain't never really seen no food truck in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I mean by like, if you're in a smaller city and you're trying to figure out like how to make your city valuable for what you're doing,
mm-hmm.
I'll say take a trip. It's the least expensive way you can get to these major cities, and then pay attention. See what's there that you like, that you think is cool. Because if you like it and you think it's cool, it'll probably work in your city. You know what I'm saying? All people kind of like just like cool shit. So that's why I was started like culturally. And you can find out. You don't even got to travel. You can like, cruise the internet. Ask people, make friends, like a lot of different things to figure out like what are the uniqueness that you can build within your own city to kind of help kickstart what you're trying to do. That's an essence of it.
That's an episode.